And now we are down to the partnerships interview. So this is all about relationships. There's nothing obscure about it, and it's almost entirely based on your experience. Stay with me, and you'll know how to prepare for it. Well, the goal of this interview is mostly about finding out if you are able to establish productive relationships within the organization. And then afterwards, use those relationships or leverage all those relationships in order to achieve goals. As for the rest of the interviews, it's only 45 minutes. Effectively, you will only have 40 minutes. The other 5 minutes is for you to ask questions. The main topics for this interview will be things like influence, collaboration with others, and communication. And now you're wondering, what type of questions can I expect from this kind of interview? Well, the very first one is related to communication with the stakeholders. You will have regular cases, meaning when everything went all right, and troublesome cases in which things didn't go that well. So please remember that whenever you are talking about when things didn't go well, please always state how did you fix the problem and what did you learn about it. Communication is not only about how you communicate with others, it's also about how do you present or how do you create the proper environment for others in your team communicate among themselves. So that's also part of the scope in this interview. As you can imagine, you will also have questions about how you align people behind a goal. Please be aware of all the techniques that you use. Just don't limit yourself about telling the interview, yes, I did that, but please talk about how you did it, what techniques, what instruments, what deliverables, what documents, formats, meetings, group or team dynamics did you use in order to accomplish that goal of aligning people behind a goal. During the course of a project, you will also have situations in which you will find out that you are not doing what you are supposed to be doing, or you won't achieve the goal that actually you should be achieving. Meaning that you will have to adjust. You have to adjust course or pivot, how we call it. Please remember about those situations that you were involved in the past in which you had to pivot. And how did you do it? Because probably that's going to be asked from you during this interview. Also remember, complex projects that you were involved. And when I say complex projects, I'm not talking about the technical complexity. I'm talking about the people's complexity, meaning that you have multiple teams that you have to interface with. And you have to align all these teams to accomplish the very same thing. How should you prepare for this kind of interview? Well, as you can see, this is mostly about communication. So in this case in particular, remember those projects in which there was a high complexity when it comes to communication channels, instruments you used, any kind of documents, mechanisms that you used in order to establish all the different communications. Also, any communication plans that you have put together in the past for internal communications or for external communications, that's very important. Also, you can look into books like Decode and Conquer. You can find those easily in Amazon, and those are tailored mostly for product management interviews, but they will contain some meaningful questions related to the communication part. And before you go, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so you can receive new videos and more useful information. And remember, be kind, be smart, and above everything else, please have fun. If you started watching this video and you haven't watched any other of my videos, I would definitely recommend you to go to this video here. It will give you all the pointers for the interviews at Meta. So it will be the starting point just for you to start revising all the things related to the interview process at Meta.